Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of ZACK Talk. Today we're diving into one of the biggest tech power struggles of our time, the global race for AI chip dominance. And right at the center of this story, Huawei's newly revealed 910C chip. Now, this isn't just another piece of silicon, it's a potential game changer, a chip that could reshape how China deals with the growing US restrictions on AI hardware. Let's unpack what's going on behind the scenes and why this matters to everyone watching the future of artificial intelligence. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is this 910C chip? The 910C is part of Huawei's Ascend chip series, and it's built specifically for AI workloads. Its secret weapon? It combines two of the previous generation 910B processors into a single unit using advanced chiplet packaging. That means double the computing power, double the memory, without a full redesign. Early reports suggest its performance is on par with Nvidia's top-tier H100 GPU. That's huge, because until now Nvidia has dominated the global AI chip game. So if this new chip delivers what it promises, Huawei could give China its first true alternative to US-made high-performance AI chips. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Why did China need to build the 910C in the first place? Well, the US government has been tightening its export controls on AI chips, especially those from Nvidia, out of concerns they could be used in military or surveillance applications. Starting in 2022, the US banned Nvidia from selling its A100 and H100 chips to China. Nvidia responded by creating slower versions like the A800 and H800, but even those were later blocked. And now the US has added Nvidia's latest H20 chip to a list requiring an export license. The result? A vacuum. Suddenly, Chinese companies found themselves unable to get the hardware needed to train large AI models or deploy cloud-based AI services. That's when Huawei's 910C became a critical lifeline. It arrived just in time to fill the gap left by Nvidia's exit from the Chinese market. So how did China respond? In a word, urgently. Faced with increasing US restrictions, Chinese tech firms shifted hard towards self-reliance, and Huawei took the lead. As early as late 2024, Huawei was already shipping sample units of the 910C to selected customers and accepting production orders. That's a clear sign they saw this chip crunch coming and planned ahead. Beyond Huawei, several domestic GPU startups like More Threads and Iluvatar Corex have emerged to compete in the space. These firms are backed by heavy investment and founded by seasoned engineers from major global chip makers. While their products aren't quite on Nvidia's level yet, the gap is narrowing, and fast. But let's be real, designing a powerful chip is one thing, actually making it, that's another story. Most of the 910C's manufacturing is being handled by SMIC, China's largest semiconductor foundry, using its N+2 7nm process. While this is a big step forward for China, SMIC doesn't have access to EUV, extreme ultraviolet lithography machines from ASML, which are crucial for cutting-edge production. That means lower yields, higher costs, and limited scalability. And here's where it gets even more complicated. Some reports suggest that Huawei may be working with a third-party company, SOFGO, to indirectly source certain chip components from TSMC. The US Commerce Department is already investigating whether this arrangement violates existing export bans. Huawei, of course, has denied using any TSMC-manufactured chips post-sanctions, and TSMC says it hasn't shipped anything to Huawei since 2020. Still, this story highlights just how complex and tangled the global chip supply chain really is. So where does this all go from here? Well, for one, Nvidia isn't slowing down. They're already preparing the next generation of ultra-powerful chips, like the B100 and B200, to stay ahead in the game. Meanwhile, Chinese firms will likely continue pushing architectural innovations, things like chiplet designs, 3D stacking, and better integration with high-bandwidth memory to improve performance without relying on the latest manufacturing nodes. Over time, SMIC may improve yields or develop alternative techniques, but more importantly, we may start to see two distinct AI chip ecosystems, one based on Nvidia and CUDA in the West, another built around Huawei and China's domestic chips. That split won't just affect developers, it could redefine global tech supply chains and even the way nations compete for AI leadership. Huawei's 910C proves one thing: innovation under pressure is real. By combining existing technologies in creative ways, Huawei managed to build something that could rival the world's best. But make no mistake, this chip is not the end game. It's just the beginning. The race between US and Chinese chip makers is only going to heat up from here. So here's a question to leave you with. Who will come out on top in this high-stakes, no-smoke war? Will it be Nvidia, the long-reigning champion, or Huawei, the resilient challenger rising under pressure? Only time will tell, but one thing's for sure, the outcome of this race will shape the next decade of artificial intelligence. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of ZACK Talk. If you found today's discussion valuable, don't forget to subscribe, share, and let others know about the chip war that's silently shaping the future of AI. We'll be back soon with more insights and analysis. Until then, stay curious, stay sharp, and talk soon.